infections in their intestines, they actually will take poop from a healthy person and like implant it in your intestines to help that flora. It's just like a practice that they do. It's not super common, but it's something they can do now. And this guy was kind of like the inventor of it, I think. But he did it the wrong direction.
Yeah, don't put it in the top holes. Put it in the butt holes.
Put it downstairs.
Right?
Yeah.
Not the upstairs, in the downstairs.
Go with the downstairs.
You're going to ferment
downstairs door.
Make it like kimchi or yogurt. That's the kind of ferment you need.
And that helps your gut, man. That helps your gut.
Yes.
So poop has not just been used to heal people. It's also been used to kill them.
I'm not surprised.
Not an accident because you put it in a wound like to heal it. No, this is purposely using poop to kill people.
Murder by poop.
Yeah. The Scythians were nomadic people in Europe.
Scyth?
S-C-Y-T-H-I-A-N-S. Scythians. Yeah.
Sounds like Star Wars to me.
I know.
Very much. From
the 9th century BC to the 4th century BC, they were nomadic people. They would use poison arrows that were dipped in viper venom, human blood, and poop. They would shoot the arrows at people, and it would cause gangrene and tetanus, and even those who weren't wounded by it had to suffer the smell of all these arrows. The
earliest germ warfare.
Yeah. In the Middle Ages, they would take poop from the bubonic plague victims and catapult it over castle walls to try to infect the ones inside.
Also germ warfare.
Yeah. In 612 to 1300 AD, China used explosives made of hemp string filled with gunpowder, poop, and poison. It was lit and flung at their enemy. So poop bombs.
Poop bombs. That's awful.
Poop bombs.
The shit bomb.
I didn't write down the time when this happened, but there was an Inuit elder who fashioned a blade out of his poop to escape the Canadian government. He was in Alaska. Yeah, so he's in Alaska, and it was so cold that he went outside and pooped, and it was so hard he shaped it into a knife.
Oh my god! A poop dagger.
It's poop dagger.
I shall kill you with shit.
I'm surprised they didn't use that in the North in Game of Thrones. That could have killed the White Walkers. Or what were they called? Weren't they the White Walkers? Okay. Yeah. So during Vietnam, the Viet Cong made things called punji sticks. I think that's how you say it. They sharpened bamboo sticks and dipped it in poop. And they would place it in the ground, like, the dull end in the ground and the points up, and conceal it with, like, leaves and things. Or they would put, like, it farther in the ground with a trapdoor, open it over it. And then when the enemy fell, they landed on them. And it wouldn't kill them, but it was a slow, awful, terrible thing that would happen afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if they didn't get it taken care of, that they die because there's poop on it. Alexander Georgian Simorov was a Russian inventor in 2009. He developed a device that would allow tanks to fire human poop at people. And he thought this was really cool because the tankers actually would be in the tank pooping into these things.
Oh, God.
It was like a never-ending ammunition because they just fill the things, put it in the tank, and shoot it.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's awful.
In recent years, in the LA Times, they had reported that there had been 5-fold increase in prisoners in the LA Men's Central Jail flinging their poop at officers. Now, it probably wasn't killing anyone, but it's disgusting. And they would sometimes mix it with their fruit jelly so that it would better chance to stick at the target.
Oh, God.
Why is poop so funny? I'm like a 10-year-old boy.
You were talking about the poop tank. It's like, not only, it's like, you just shot me with shit.
I know.
It's like,
not only are you shooting at me, you're shooting me with your own shit.
So, like, it's just rude.
It is.
So
adding
rude.
insult to injury.
Shooting shit.
Yeah. A 65-year-old former nurse, Rosemary Vogel of Arizona, was charged with first-degree attempted murder of her husband, Philip, who was recovering from a heart surgery because she was injected poop into his IV and was caught doing it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, horrible person.
And then she claimed she didn't remember doing any of it. And her husband was like, oh, that she would never do something like that to me. Like, she did. She was caught red-handed.
Brown-handed.
Yeah. Brown-fingered. Ew.
That's right. Brown-fingered.
Oh, gross. Okay. In 2005, Stephanie McMullen, this is awful. She tried to do the same thing to her 2-year-old son, and it was caught. Thankfully, it was fine. And in the mid-90s, Kathy Bush had that thing where she wanted her kid to be sick. You know, that, what is that called?
Munchausen
by proxy. And she would, was making her child sick by poop. Like putting poop in her IV or feeding her poop. In the mid-80s, there was...
People are sick.
Yes, they are. In the 80s, there was an intestinal parasite, like, rise in Edinburgh in England. It was traced to someone.
Isn't Edinburgh Scotland?
Edinburgh, oh, it probably is. I don't know. I didn't write it down. I was just saying off the top of my head. Yes, it's probably Scotland. It traced it to someone who intentionally put infected poop in the apartment building's water tank. Like, nice. What is wrong with you?
People are fucked up.
Yeah. In 2010, a teen in California put poop and insecticide in her mom's food trying to kill her, and it didn't work. She lived, but she got sick, and they found out her daughter was poisoning her.
I'm sorry. I think if someone put shit in my food, I would notice.
How did you not know there was poop in your... Maybe that's how she got caught. Like, her mother was like, this is shit. Like, literally. You made me shit for dinner.
Just taking a dump on a plate.
Here, Mom.
Here's your dinner.
Here's some mousse.
How do you disguise that?
I don't know. Oh,
I'm laughing and crying. It's just horrible.
I almost forgot about another thing. So, I used this past week with my sore throat. Do you suffer from a sore throat? Greek white can cure you. What is Greek white, you may ask? It's the white crust that forms outside of dog poop as it ages. Just scrape that off and eat it, and you're cured.
Gross! It's so gross. No, I don't want to eat that. I don't want anywhere near me. I'd rather have a sore throat, thanks.
I will suffer with a sore throat, thank you. So there are other uses for poop. One, poop to perfume. Whales poop out this slick, lumpy, fatty substance.
Yeah, ambergris. Ambergris.
And it forms in the whale's digestive tract when they have something sharp in there, like maybe a squid beak. And it's a yellow-gray in color, and you sometimes found on beaches, but you're real lucky if you find it because, well, they put it in pricey, like expensive perfume. But if you find one, it's like worth between $68,000 and $180,000. I'm going to spend the rest of my life looking for poop.
But it's illegal to sell it. It's considered a black market item because the whales that it comes from are endangered. Even though it's natural and you found it, if you try to sell it, they're going to think you killed a whale. Because there was a story of somebody who found one. Is this yellow waxy, looked like a rock, and it had a weird smell. And they looked it up and they're like, "Oh my god, it's worth like $80,000, but like you can't sell that because it's illegal."
Okay, if I all of a sudden get rich, it wasn't from whale poop. Okay, I'm not ever gonna do that. Recently in Japan, they're very like creative and inventive. They're transforming human feces into steak.
No.
Yes.
No. No.
Margaret, is that a vegan product? I don't know. I guess not. It's from animal. Could be vegetarian.
No. I'll pass. Thanks.
So
it's not a vegetable. It's a shit.
Listen though. Scientists investigate. We're trying to find uses for excess sewage. That was their goal. They discovered
not food. I vote not food.
They discovered they could isolate proteins from poop combined with some carbohydrates and fats results in meat-like substances. So from poop, just your dinner table. It's like farm to table. It's like sewer to table.
Toilet to table.
There's this invention called the Omnipress or presser. It'll heat sewage sludge, separating liquids and water vapor, then treated it to make it into something for drinking water again. So it turns your sewage into drinkable water. Which, don't tell me. If you hand me a glass of water, don't tell me where it came from.
No.
Pretend you just opened a bottle of Fiji, which could be a sewage water. I don't know. But I don't want to know that it came from the sewage. The scientists have found ways to use bacteria from baby poop to make fermented sausages. They're called fuet in Spain. Apparently, baby poop is chock full of microbes, which are used in probiotics. Mm-hmm. So baby poop is supposed to be super healthy for you. So you can make some nice sausages, tasty fermented sausages.
I'm gonna pass. I think I'd rather be sick.
Some kefir, some kimchi. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll just stick with that instead of we'll pass on the baby poop and we'll just go straight for the kimchi.
Yeah. So I'm going to end on a not so disgusting note. This is kind of a cool thing. So scientists are looking into ways to extract precious metals like gold, silver, platinum, copper, and titanium from sewage. Waste produced from 1 million Americans every year could contain $13 million worth of metals.
Crazy. That's like people ate all that. Think about all the Goldschlager that we ate in the 90s.
I know, right? Well, and they said that some of it in the sewages and things could be from like waste from dental offices or cosmetic and personal care products that have metals in them. The waste from that could be part of the reason why it get pushed into the sewage system. So it's not all just from people, but still it's all mixed together. So you pull that out. So Margaret, this is a side hustle for us. We'll start pulling metals out of poop and we could be millionaires in a year.
I don't want to deal with doing anything with poop.
Can you imagine? I think about those poor people that empty those outhouses out. Oh. That's their job.
God.
Where they suck not just like one family's worth of poop, like just a million of different stranger poops. You know what I mean? Like, how many people took a dump in that outhouse, that porta potty at that music festival? And then you funny. Have to go get it.
Yes. I actually have a funny porta potty story that involves my mom. We went a few years back. We had both the little girls, but Evie was potty trained at that point, and we went through the Lights on the Lake in Syracuse.
Oh yeah.
And we got to the end. I mean, it was like a line and it's slow moving. We get to the end and Evie's like, I really have to pee. I'm like, well, we'll go to Wegmans. And Mom goes, well, I have to pee too. There's a porta potty. Remember, this is December. Right? It's December. So my mom goes over there and I don't even know for a while and she comes back and the look on her face was just horrified. She's like, that was the most disgusting experience. She's like, the poop was piled above the toilet seat.
Oh my god! It was like frozen castles.
Yes, it was people would crap, it would freeze, and then go on top of it would freeze. It made like a reverse icicle, like a stalagmite of shit and piss.
A poopsicle.
And she goes, and Evie had to go. She was like, I had to hold her over the toilet so she could pee. I was dying. I was laughing so hard, and she's like, thank you for. I'm so glad that I entertained you with my horrible experience in the outhouse. And I'm like, You said you would do it. I said she could wait.